Hello and welcome back to Pandemic Playground with Dave. We are back at Surviving Triton, Rover Evolution, and we are continuing to upgrade this rover that we have. So let's get started. Alright, so it's been quite some time since I played around with Rover Evolution. I think the last thing we did was create this monstrosity of a drill system, and all we were able to gather was ice for the most part, because we fill up by the time we get down there. So what we need to do is probably create some kind of ejection system somewhere where we can just toss out some ice from the drilling machine. So I guess the best place to really do that would probably be at certain points here and there. Maybe we could use the connector to toss it. That's an option. But I think an ejector has the default of the, what's it may call it though? The sorting pieces of it. So if we go to an ejector, I don't recall. It's been a while since I've actually used an injector, so let's see if it does work out. So if we place the ejector here, for example, right, roll that up, and control panel ejector, and it looks like no. Okay, so that is a problem. So we do need some kind of sorting system here to toss out stuff. So ideally the best spot would have been right over there. But we don't have that set up. So why don't we put this thing down first? It's a little tricky to do this, I think. Yeah. Put this here. I did make it a little mobile, although a little top heavy from what I recall. So let's just grab into our helm here and let's disconnect. Where's the disconnect? Oh, I didn't put it up here. Alright, so let's see. Our connector. Which one's which? Station. This is connector. Do switch lock here. So we're gonna unlock. And I think we can drive this guy a little bit. Right there. It's a little bit top heavy. Just a tad. Or forward heavy, I can say. So I'm just gonna slowly, actually, you know what? Why don't change the wheels power here? Power, we're gonna do like 10% or something like that. Why not? So that way we can move extremely slow and not have to worry too much. Alright, so we get up to this point is when we can put the piston system. Yes, I should put 2 more. That would definitely be ideal. So I'm going to do that in a second. But here, now we can rotate this piece, which is a bit wobbly. This is where we can turn the drill on and then drop it down that way. Why are you still wobbling when you are attached to the floor? It's because you're not. Okay, that makes sense. Now we're locked in. Guess I didn't pay too much attention to that. Alright, let me try that again. Let's lock in. And I think I have too much ice in here. Yeah, we didn't take the ice out. We should have taken the ice out so then the system could be filled up. I think it's pretty full of ice already. Yeah, it's pretty filled with ice. Okay. So either we make an ice storage system or we just dump the ice. And I'm inclined to kind of dump the ice for the time being. How can we dump the ice? Well, a sorter would really help. I was hoping the ejector would have been able to do... Oh, that's bad 5. I was hoping that the ejector would have had the sorting capacity of it, but I guess not. So where can we do that? It probably has to be back here, and we're just gonna dump it on top of ourselves a little bit. So I think we could do it here. Let's see. So we're gonna do it conveyor sorter going this way. And what we can do is actually plop on a connector and toss it out that way. But why make it simple when we toss on conveyor converter right here and throw on a whole bunch of ejectors, which probably not the best way to go about it, but that's the way I'm gonna go about it. So let's see how that works. So we're gonna dump it on ourselves a bit here. So we have 3, 4, 5 of these guys, just kind of dumping it down. Hopefully that kind of works out okay. Yes, we're wasting a lot of ice. Unfortunate, but has to be done for the time being because we don't have the space for it. Do we collect it later? Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. I think likely not. Since, you know, everything's ice anyways, so although we're wasting it a bit, we're not gonna run out of ice. That's the main point. So we should be okay. But I do want to make sure we can just get these things up and running, which I think we may have ran out of some parts for. Yeah, it looks like it. And it looks like at the slowest production ever. Yeah, we haven't really done any upgrading since we're trailing around a large cargo or a large assembler or a large refinery, so we gotta eventually figure that out, but not much we can do at the moment. Okay, so if I get this here, okay, so with that done, we can go to the sorter. We can whitelist and find the ice. Too bad we can't type it out here. So just do ice. That's fine. That's all we need to get rid of. Or stone. Do we need the stone to get rid of stone? Probably. But we can leave that for now. That's fine. Then we go to the ejectors. So all the ejectors we will say throw out. That way it just tosses out I was about to say snow, but that's the ice. Alright, so that should give us enough ice or room to start mining for the iron and everything like that. How quickly is this throwing out the ice? Probably not fast enough, to be honest, but we're gonna have to see how that works out. Alright, so we're just tossing a bunch of ice on the floor, and I hope it's enough or fast enough to throw out the ice so that we don't collect too much in here. And I think we are looking not too good, actually. If you see there, so it's probably not the way to go. Hold on a second. Yeah, this is probably not the best way to go because our large cargo containers are still pretty full, right? It's not fast enough. Although we have 5. Do we need more? Do we add a 6? I don't know. All this ice here is just a little bit minor of ice, so that's probably why. We could make more O2 generators. We can do a hydrogen tank. We just need a bigger Rover for what it is, but I just want the iron. Maybe I'd better off do it by hand at this point. I don't know. Or we just make a station here and just leave it here so we don't have to deal with this craziness that's that we're dealing with. Let me see. Can I drive this thing forward? Yeah, I probably could, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to stop. So that's the problem. So a bit of a failed project, but that's okay. Let's get this guy back a little bit so we don't get pelted by the hailstorm here. Okay. So definitely not the smartest idea, it seems. But it actually worked out okay. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's also not the best thing in the world. So, how can we fix this? One thing I think I could add more large cargo containers up top. I think. So if I were to flip this thing and it looks like I'm stuck. Yeah, I think we experienced this last time too, and I think it's because of this. Right here, I think, is where we get stuck. And we didn't give it up enough room to kind of situate itself. Yep. So it looks like I can extend the piston a bit to fix it. And then I'll bring it back. So that was the issue we experienced last time, where we couldn't retract it back or get it back to this position. So with this position, I think we can add one more here, right? I didn't even take a look at that, actually. So we flip it this way. I think we can add one more large cargo container right here. And of course we could try it out first, see if it works out. Alright, large cargo container is done. And let's kind of see if it works out okay. It's looking okay. That's not too bad. It's a bit unfortunate I can't add another one, but now we have 3, so that kind of gives us a little bit more room to play around with. Just a tiny bit more. This drill system, of course, does need a little bit more help in terms of the piston situation here. So we're going to add some pistons here as well. Would be the best thing to do. So I'm going to put it there. Here we go. So we'll put the pistons here with the magnetic plates on the bottom, just to give it a little more stability. And since it's a little bit front heavy with the drills, what I'm going to do is add another set of wheels up front. And this will be a bit of a mobile station. And if we do decide to connect it into our station or our rover again, it's not going to be an issue. And the only reason why I would say that is because we could just unfriction everything, to be honest. So we don't really need these wheels to drive. We just kind of keep it as a stationary thing. And it just acts like a little bit of a buoy for the time being while we use this thinner rover, which I think we're going to have to quickly upgrade really soon. I want to make it a little bit wider, and I'm going to do that double wheel system that we did with the experiment in previous weeks, so we can have that. So the plan is to do a double inner wheel and then another set on the outside. So instead of looking like this, I'm going to make it, if I can kind of describe it, is to make the inside wheels like this, that side and then this side facing each other as a middle wheel right here. And then on the outside is where I'm going to place a wheel as well. So I'm going to 4 wheels on one kind of axle, I guess you can call it. But that's the idea and the thing I want to try. And I would hope it works out correctly. If not, then... So the piston magnetic plates are set. I'm not going to play around with it just yet because I'm going to make this third set of wheels, or another set of wheel. Yeah, third set of wheels. And how I'm going to do this, let's see. Extend it a little bit this way if I had the steel plates. So I'm thinking along the ideas of kind of like what we already have. But this one to be slightly different in that little bit of an elbow system. But then we'll flip it from here. Ah, that's perfect actually. Alright. So we're just going to get it to the same point down here, if that works out. It looks like we need 2 more. Okay. Works out that we have this little pit to do this. And this one will be the solid block. Alright, there we go. I think that lines up, right? Yes, that lines up perfectly. And then that's where we're going to add another wheel right here. So we can add, what's this, a left wheel, 3x3, plop it there. Oh, is that stuck on the ground? No, it's not. Okay, we're good. And we'll just go onto this side and do the same thing. Yeah, same thing. Alright, so from here, we could play around with the pistons. Plus, we need to add the wheels here because we're too close to the ground. So, what is the best way to do that? Of course, is to raise the pistons itself. So, which pistons? I think it's the white pistons, which would be the piston bags. So, let me type these out to be the piston bags or magnetic plate, as they're supposed to be. So maybe I grouped them actually. So get these together. Well, maybe I do have them grouped. I think it should be a group already actually. Let's see, where's my grouping? Piston mags right here. So save all 4, and what we're gonna do is actually change the maximum distance to 2. So they all are the same. So I need to... I think the last 2 I need to do a reverse. Yep. And the magnetic plates, I need to save and do an unauto lock. Oh, that was a really bad idea. Let me unlock. Back up a little bit just to get some more ground. Then push it back down. And lock. Well, should have locked it. Well, that's fine. Alright. So the wheels, now we should be okay. At the wheels, let's get them all to be the same power. So 10%. Strength is 12. Offset is, well, should be 32. Friction and everything I'll leave alone. Fine with me. And we just gotta weld them up. Alright, there we go. So we finally have our drilling machine all set up kind of correctly. Now, the question I have here is, can I move things from one large container to other here? I cannot. In terms of large items, but I think I could do, well, I think I got rid of all the ice, but I think ores will be fine. It is going to collect ores anyway, so shouldn't be an issue. Another issue that we're going to run into is probably the needing of a recharge, which we can connect to recharge, but we can also do a bit of a solar panel system if we need to, and we'll lay it right here on the side if we need to. I think we're going to need to, but should be okay for now. But if we unlock now and put ourselves down, we should be a little bit more stable in the front. Back is a little concerning, but not too concerning at the same time. So we should be okay. Alright, so let's just try to lock in. Okay, so that is a little bit on the horrific side. The scary side, only because there's nothing connecting to the ones in front, but that's fine. We just need to do a little bit better job in terms of locking at the right time. I just constantly tapped it, and that'll kind of work out okay. Alright, here we go. We're gonna flip this guy over. We are... The ejectors are not fast enough anyways, but I think this direction of where I'm going to drill, we should hit the iron okay. Actually, no, that doesn't look like it's going to hit the iron okay at all, actually. So, alright, we're going to have to reset this. Let me unlock and try to bring it forward just a tiny bit more. And then we're just going to have to keep hitting lock. I think we're good. Alright, we're good. And that's the straightest I can get this thing to go. So here we go. Pistons on. Drills on. And we should be okay in collecting just the iron. I would hope. If not, we got to find a faster way to dump all the ice. And some of this ice may or may not be useful right this moment, but I'm just gonna store it in there. It looks like we got some free space, so why not just collect a few more and just throw it in there. Yeah, I think we actually got rid of most of the ice actually, right? It looks like it. Yeah. And the hydro engines, they're 100%, so they're filled up. Okay, so we could kind of use some of the ice while we wait for that to kind of gather. Kind of. Although this is not even much ice at all. We could just maybe just go in here and grab a whole bunch. Actually, no, it's dumping it pretty significantly, right? It looks like it is. So that's not too bad. So the ice is not existing in here at all. So yeah, anytime it's picking it up, it's going to dump it. Well, again, it's only skimming the ice. It's not really getting a whole bunch of ice, I think, right? We're just skimming. Yeah, we're just skimming, so that's why it's doing that. Right, we might fill up on stone, so that's another situation we're going to run into. And I'm not going to like that. So here's the stone. We got 2k worth. But is it now cargo? Yeah, it's now cargo as well. So we can just go ahead and dump this in here as well. Not ideal, but sure. I think we're heading to the iron, so that's good. That's the main point anyways of this whole project, was just to get iron so we could start building more stuff or more materials for ourselves. Alright, so are we completely full of stone? We are kind of full. No, we're not fully full of stone. Our drills are not fully full either, so that's a good thing. So, do we get rid of some stone is the biggest kind of question we have here. Our car container only got not a lot of iron, to be honest. 11k, 12k, and then we're gonna fill up, and we're filled up right now. But our drills do carry also, so we should be okay in that sense. So how far did we get the iron? Ouchies. Alright, so the iron drilling, I think, needed to go a little bit more to the other side. Unfortunately, no, that's just not great. Okay, so whatever. Let's bring this guy up, and we're gonna have to back it up and attach it to our current rover to see if we can just get some of that iron going. I think 12k is not too bad. It's definitely a start. Let's just say it's a good start to get some materials going. If I need to get more, then we're just gonna have to get more by driving it in a bit of a different direction than where it's headed right now. So what I'm planning to do is actually rotate it back before it starts getting close to the sorter right here, or converter right there. So yeah, so the iron's on the other side, so I got what I can get on my current angle. So once the drill gets free, we can angle it backwards. So it's gonna take a bit of time, but it's almost there. I like the fact that my little rover has a spotlight to shine right where we're drilling at. So it's like to see the mining spot. Alright, so we are gonna rotate it here, I think. Yep. Ooh. A little bit too close. And we're a bit heavy. Ooh. That could have been really bad. Alright, so our drills aren't fully stocked, which is fine, but it's mostly stone, which is not what I want anyway. So yeah, that little bounciness, not very happy about that. Alright, so let's just get this done. So we can unlock there we go. So we are a little bit on the bouncy side, but we'll slow crawl right back into the rover. I probably need to increase the strength of the wheels, right? Because we are a little bit on the heavy side here. So where's our wheels? Let's save all those wheels together. We need to increase the strength. I put 20. I think 20 will do it. We clear the first cargo container. We clear the second. Don't know if we can clear the connector. We can always lower the rover, so that's another thing. And oh, we barely grease it. Interesting. Alright, we're gonna bounce around, but we just lock in right there. And we're good to go. Oh, that's not a good thing. That is definitely not good. Sorter, let's turn that off. We just dumped all the ice from the whole entire rover, so that was not a good idea to set it up that way. We definitely need some kind of on-off situation or shut-off for that. Not a big deal. We should be alright. Let me just collect some more ice here really quick and just dump it in there. And we should be okay. Okay, there we go. Alright, so with everything kind of just done that way, can we drive this guy still? Yeah, a little bouncy, but we are okay. Yeah, so we can move on ahead and do other stuff if we need to. So that's the good thing about this. The bad thing about this is how much materials do we have? At least we got some stone to refine, but the iron is the more important piece that we need to get refined. So then we can make more materials. So it looks like stone's gonna be first, which is fine. They get done pretty quickly. They refine quick. And then we have ice there. That's fine. Alright. So what should we do? We should probably get started with the next evolution of the rover. Before we do that, I'm going to angle it where we get the iron a little bit better. Because this is a rover evolution. We're not going to build a separate rover on this next to it. We have to build on top of it to organically evolve the whole entire thing. Alright, so best way to do this is to probably give the wheels of the station, the mining station, to have no friction. But for whatever reasons, I just don't care to do that right now. And we're just gonna try our best to turn this whole thing. And obviously it's not working. Okay, so against what I was just saying, we are going to make this frictionless. So then we can get some angling here. Yeah, there we go. So that angle's a lot better now. So yeah, you definitely need frictionless buoys or whatever you want to call it, so that you can drive and turn a little bit better. Although this is right now just front wheel turning. Not the best thing in the world, but it's working okay. It's going to be a little difficult to get these kind of turned around to get to the right angle. But if we go far enough, we could probably find more materials, which is somewhat necessary. So something we're missing is probably cobalt, which we do have some marked, but it's probably far away, because our mission to get to the economy base had failed miserably. We ended up going pretty far away and ended up here with the closest iron that I could find. And we're just gonna have to mine as much as possible from it. Would have been a better idea to just make a station on the voxel on the ground. Yes, obviously. But of course, let's just make life difficult and make everything small grid for no apparent reason. So yeah, I mean, we can make a small grid and have it also be a station. That's not a problem. But this seems to be a little more fun for me, at least. It might be annoying for some of you, but I find it pretty fun this way. So yeah, alright, we can drop this guy off here. So what I'm gonna do is get the mining wheels to be back to the friction. 50%, that's fine. we're gonna unlock it. And then back. Actually, you know what? Before we find out if doing this is the correct thing. Yeah, everything didn't get moved out of the cargo container. And I'm guessing the main reason why that is because we don't have much cargo in our rover. Okay, we can't really do too much because we need to make sure all this gets moved over to the refinery and other cargo that's in the rover itself. So that's a bit of an issue. So we got to figure out. Yeah, we need more. We just need more cargo space in our our rover. Okay, let's just plan it out. Let's plan out our large build of this rover evolution. So right now, we are 3 blocks wide next to the suspension. We should definitely be more than that. So how much wider do we want to go? I kind of want to say as wide as maybe 2 large cargo containers. So large cargo container is how much blocks wide? So based on this here, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. Why am I doing it this way? We just do it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 by 5, right? 5 by 5. Yep. 5 by 5. So we do across, we get 10. But we want to make it an odd number, so we just leave space and make it 11. So I think that's the deal. That should be wide enough, maybe? Actually, you know what? I didn't even consider the other part. The other part being then I need to add the suspensions and everything the right way around. So the suspensions will be the chassis of the rover, so that's what's going to determine the width of it first. I think that's the way it's going to have to go. Yeah. Definitely the way it's going to have to go. Can I? No. I was thinking of flipping this guy over and start digging with the rover attached, but this part is going to collide. So not a good idea. Shoot. I don't have a lot of space in this rover, so I do need to rely on these to move the stuff to refine. Actually, I was hoping for stone to refine first, so because that goes by fairly quickly, and then we refine some of the iron. So yeah, so let's just wait for that a little bit, and then we can move forward from what we plan to do. Alright, so we were able to move everything. We are good to go. We can get the rover off of this, because I'm going to need to edit it anyways. So back this guy up. Park it. This guy is what we're going to use to drive a little bit, not too much. And let me turn on the sorter from here. Toggle it on and off. Okay. We'll drive this guy slowly to the iron, which I guess the point is underneath the conveyor converter, so it just comes down right down this way, and it'll go down here into the iron. Okay. You could probably back up just a tiny bit. So just back up just a tiny bit, alright? Let's do our plate. We are connected. And we can flip it over. Turn on the drills and let it dig. Also turn on sorter to get rid of the ice. And there we go. So it's going to collect a little bit more ice, but I think we're going to be fine and collect the iron from there. Alright, so we'll leave that alone. And now we come back to this guy. So we're going to have to add a whole bunch of pistons. Why? Because we want it to be lifted up a tiny bit so we can start working on the wheels. So this whole thing is technically going to be a little bit immobile for a bit. So the question's gonna be how I'm gonna get the iron. Looks like I'm gonna have to scoop it by hand for a little bit in the meantime. But not much more we can do about it. So we're gonna put one here. One here. Looks like we need some here as well. So we can keep it balanced. That should do, be on the safe side. Put one on tail end. So we add 5. Okay. So hopefully I can see it from this side. Yes, I can. One here. One here. I don't see any on this side because it's covered. So, oop. So we just need one here. And I think it was next to the wheel, not on the wheel, or it was on the wheel. Yeah, it was on the wheel. This one is here. And that's 5. Okay. We weld these up. Alright. So we are good there. I think this has kind of gone to... Whoa, what is going on with that? But we've gone to the point where we were able to collect the iron perfect. So if we need to, we can connect this guy back on. So let me just... Ooh, not rotate it. Bring it back up and get that situated. We can always move things by hand and whatever the case is. But I think we are set here to lift this thing up. It would be smart, yes, to add magnetic plates on the bottom. But I'm not going to, because I think it's going to be more than enough as long as I put a block here. And kind of do that. Something like that. Should work out okay. Alright, so that's the last one. Let's flip ourselves back. Here we go. So we got a little bit of a feat for our rover. So it's gonna be an active rover, so we just can lift it and hope for the best, and we'll add it from the bottom in front right here. So naming them pistons would probably be the worst idea to do that, but whatever. Let's reverse. And here we go. We got some height. Okay. So eventually I think we do have to destroy or rebuild a lot of this. And I'm only saying that because to rebuild the whole chassis, we do have to get rid of most of the stuff here. So yeah. If we have the space before we can do that, grab some iron and just like get the refining started for this. So it looks like, yeah, the refining is like all done, so we can just move some stuff over, and we just use this for now, and then we'll leave some for reserve or whatever. So we are gonna do this. We're gonna change this. We're changing the whole thing. We don't need the cockpit over there. We want it somewhere else. So let's see, what do you want to use? Do we want to use carbon? No, carbon fiber we can use for the outside. Concrete's not going to work. Corrugated armor. That is... Okay, that looks decent, but I'm not going to use it for this. Let's do some frozen armor. Should we do some frozen... Oh, frozen armor can be on the outside too. I guess we could just use clean armor. I like clean armor, to be honest. Alright, we do some clean armor builds here. Let's grab what we can in terms of steel plates. And let's get beginning with building our next steps of this rover evolution. That's going to be the double wheels, and I'm going to do 5x5 wheels. Alright, so I'm going to build 1, 2, 3 just to keep stability for now. So we're going to keep this simple, bit of a brick system right here. And we'll build around it from there. So I think I gave enough space. So let's see how we're going to do this. In order to build the suspension facing each other, kind of thinking, is that even a good idea? No? Alright, so leave it as is. This is gonna be a really odd build, but we're gonna try to get it to work. So when we're planning it this way, and we're doing 5x5 wheels, right? Okay, so we can do this. Get rid of these two, and this two. So this is the main middle chassis for the first initial wheel. So traditionally this is right, but we use left, right? No, that's later. So this is right because it's gonna go right first, right? Right. Right. That's correct. This one's gonna be left, going this way. Alright, there we go. And of course we can put more blocks here, whatever the case is, right? So I'm just put one here for now, just for stability purposes. And there's our 5x5 wheels. So should it do it that way and then double it up? No, I think that's gonna be way too long though. So that's not the way to go. The way to go is to make it face each other first. So we're gonna have to build a little higher, I think. Yeah, I think we have to build a little higher. So, how much more higher? I'm not quite sure at this very moment. But we can certainly do something like that. We have 4 on each side. That may or may not do it. I'm not sure. Let's see. If we tag on, if this is left, and it went basically the opposite way, then that's going to be right. So it's going to go this way. Yeah, that's not... I don't think that's wide enough for the wheels. Is it? No, I think I have to back it up. I think we backed it up to here. We might be able to add a wheel. But then we got to add the blocks here. And I'm not exactly sure how high at this moment that I'm going to do this. But it looks like it's going to be kind of up to this point here, which makes the Rover, or you could probably call it truck at this point, pretty high up, to be honest. So that's the chassis and base of it. Can I add a wheel now? Probably not. I don't know. So let's go find the 5x5 wheel, add wheel, and no, we cannot because we probably don't have the height that we need it to be. Alright, let's try that. Or maybe this one's in the way. Who knows? Get that out of the way, get out X5 wheel, add wheel, and no wheel. Maybe it is this in the way. Which is fine. X5, add wheel. And we got no wheel. Okay, so we need to push it back a little bit more, I think. Let me get an example. That is how big the wheel is. That should be fine, to be honest, but I think we just need to push it back one more. It really does look like it's perfectly fine to me to be that close, but I guess not. Alright, so this was left wheel, so that's going to take a right wheel currently. And it's still not making the wheel itself frustrating. There we go. We finally got a wheel. Alright, so it was that block right there that was the problem. Alright, so that's how far we're gonna have to go here. So that's quite interesting. Let me get some extra support there. That's fine. A little worrying. I'm gonna build it like that really quick. Alright, here we go. So that's freed up. And I guess that's how we're gonna design it. So it is how many blocks away? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks. 8 blocks away. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we go down. And down by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. And we built it like that. Alright, so this is going to take a left wheel because we're on the right side. Here we go. And that's the suspension system. So let's just clear this out really quick because we don't need that. And then we clear this out really quick because I'm pretty sure the best way to do this is to make sure both of them are adding wheel at the same time. And there we go. We have a suspension 5x5 wheel. Ooh, they're pretty close together though. That's a little bit worrying. Should we spread them out more? Probably. Let's weld it up and see what happens really quick. Okay, so this is a little bit worrying that it's not in the right angle or height for both. Alright, I guess we could just kind of squeeze it out of there. There's a chance that we need to spread out one more block apart. So there's that. Let's say 12% power is fine. That's fine, whatever. So yeah, I'm not sure why it's doing that currently. So what we can try is, before we do anything crazy, get rid of these blocks. I think it's colliding together, that's why it's acting so strangely. It looks very clanged up in some ways. So let's see, reverse. Okay, let's reverse this. See how it reacts. So if we unpark it, oh, there we go. So that is yep, that's concerning. That's an interesting clang. It's pretty much dancing a bit. Very interesting. Never done this before with 5x5s, and it looks like it does cause a little bit of clang. So let's just not deal with that. We're gonna have to bring it back one block each. And there we go. So now with the front, with one spacing in front of it, it's cleared from that clanginess. So we should be okay here. Now the next step, that's the next question. Do we want to put a block in between? Or we don't care and we just build it across or right onto it. We can see, for an example, oh, it doesn't attack them up here. Oh, that's great. It doesn't attach a block up here. Why does the 3x3 one allow that? The 3x3 one allows it. You don't allow it? Ah. You are a piece of crap. I prefer the 3x3 because it allows it to connect that way, but this one it does not. That's a total loss right there. So that's gonna add a bit of width to the Rover, which is fine. The wider it is, probably the better it is anyway. So here we go. So again, this left goes for the right. We definitely need to get some cobalt or even silver or something, because this welding with the regular welder is quite time consuming. Alright, so I'm not sure how we're going to design it right over here, but we can always use something like these blocks to play around with, right? So that's something to do probably later down the line. We don't have to worry too much about that. So we just add kind of these squared blocks here for now, and then we do our wheels on the outside. So this is the left side, so we can finally stick with left. So we do that here, and we'll do the right on this side, like so. And of course, I just got tossed out of the sky because I ran out of hydrogen. So let's throw some ice back in there and fill up if we can. Okay, so with this kind of design, we are now fairly wide based on from where the wheel, I guess, base portion of it, we can calculate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're 8 apart plus the one in the middle. So that's about 16, 17 wide. It's a lot more than I thought I was gonna do. I was gonna do 5 and 5, so 11 wide. So we added, that's not too bad. Just additional more. So just to be sure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, 17 wide. So that's how wide our vehicle is gonna be, which is not too bad. The other piece is we can lower this a little bit more, but we just gotta figure out how much it's gonna bottom out. Or what does bottom out look like in this sense. So we drop it to that point. We do our X5 wheels right here and do, I guess, height offset to be the lowest point, and that'll show us where we bottom out. So we bottom out right there, so we should not do this technically. While I'm doing it, yes, we shouldn't do it that way, but we are gonna do this to it. So we're gonna empty out those blocks right here, right? I think that'll do. And we'll add our kind of like half block situations here. Or we maybe can get away with not half blocks. But I'm thinking, this is what I'm thinking. This here, and we should be okay. Actually, we'll put one there and then we'll put this here. So at least we can just add half blocks right here when it bottoms out. That will give it a little bit more design down over here as well. Why am I welding it now? I don't know, but we'll just do that for the moment. There we go. So that looks good, I think. And then we can kind of do the same thing right here, right? We can just get the, well, we'll bring it up here. So we can just do the bottoming out right here as well. Get the half blocks going. And like I said, this is just bottoming out. So actually I didn't even test out turning, so we gotta do that too. So let's just get these welded up first. Alright, so I should have maybe, just maybe, started in the back or the rear. Then it's getting hard to tell how long we're gonna make this thing anyway. So yeah, the only reason why I'm saying that is because we ran out of iron for steel plates, construction components, large steel tubes, and all that stuff, and I'm maneuvering this thing back and forth by hand. Yes, we can do it in a different way, obviously, but it's just a little, well, minus the fact I just killed myself. There is a quicker way of doing this, and that is probably to kind of expand it out here, do an ejector and a collector system to just drop everything. So that is something I could have done, or I should do actually. So I'm just gonna drop all the stuff here, and oop, just stepping over myself, kind of made it look kind of odd. Alright, so shoot, yeah, so I'm out of the iron, so we're just gonna have to move it by hand for now. Not ideal. And we moved most of it already anyway, so we may or may not. Oop, we are full. Interesting. We have 6k iron now. That's perfect. So, oh no, we don't. It's not a. It was not an issue with all that. It was an issue with inventory. So we gotta expand the inventory. So I'm gonna put this large O thing here. It's not the best placement, but it's gonna have to do. So we put this guy here. So there's a bit of a little connector port there. So we do that, and we should get enough space, hopefully. Can we make construction components? We're missing construction components, I think. We're missing one. Can you generate one for me? Spit one out. Spit one out. There. That would do it. Here we go. We got extra space. Now the problem is we can't get the drill. Well, we can't get the drill back anyway, so it doesn't matter. We're just throwing stuff on here just to get more space because we need it. 4 wheels up front. That's what we're going for in terms of the next evolution of the Rover. Of course, we should probably add the same concept on this side as well. So let's just do that. I'm just gonna add it all here first, and then we'll just cut it down. Okay, so we cut down there. We add our plates there, half blocks. Oh, that's not what I want. There we go. Get our half slope block, put that there, and we should be good. We'll put that here, put this here, and this here. And then we gotta make the turn to see if it works out. If it bottoms out and hits it, then we have an issue. But I think we should be okay. Yep, we are. I think that's perfectly fine, right? I can't really tell. Yeah, we're not touching anything, so we're okay. We are definitely okay in that sense. I wish it was more even, but it's not. That's not a big deal. That's the basis of what I'm thinking in terms of the Rover's base, or bottom of it. So this way it gives it a little bit more stability and everything like that. 4 wheels, 2 double wheel, the double wheel here, and then the extended wheel. So we get a nice big Rover setup. So that's going to be the bottom part of it. So we're going to have to raise it up a little bit towards the inside. And then we're going to have a lot of room to play with. I mean, a lot of room, to be honest. So hopefully this works out okay. If not, that would have sucked. But I think we should be decent in this case here. So a little bit of cleaning up to do over there. And I feel like we're going to get rid of a lot of things. So we're going to have to kind of reinforce everything a little bit, just in case I break the wrong piece and then I lose the whole wheel system there. But I'm going to leave the wheels kind of like this. The top portion, we probably want to slope it forward or backwards a little bit. So then we can do it that way. But I think this is a good start. A good start to the next evolution of making a large Rover here. We will run into a lot of issues where we're not going to have enough mats. So we're going to have to use this thing probably separately for the time being. And maybe roam around with it a little bit too. This thing's probably, well, it could actually be used currently, actually. We still could travel around by, you know, kind of giving the strength back or the offset back. So here's the highest offset we can do. And we can still drive it, no problem, right? And the turning is pretty good. This just looks like 2 trucks put together, actually. I didn't even think about that. But it works out okay. It's not too bad. I mean, if we want to go crazy, or if I want to go crazier, I can ignore the middle wheel and put another additional wheel right up front. That's another thing I could do, just to style it up in the front portion of it. But yeah, it's looking like two trucks over here put together, so that's another thing. But at least now we know we're not going to bottom out if we put heavy stuff here. So it's got to be, I guess that's pretty high up, to be honest. But I guess we're going to have to do it that way, because if for any reasons we get to the point where we bounce and it goes all the way like this and it hits it, it's going to break something. I mean, it's likely not going to do that, but you just never know. So we'll try our best to keep it like this. But of course, we can also design out here towards it. So we can do something like this, maybe. And that's it. That's what I think that's the look we're gonna go for with this whole double wheel situation, or kind of like double truck situation. I mean, the other option was to not do it this way and do two suspension. Well, kind of, it's all gonna look like double trucks the way it's gonna look. So it is what it is. I'm thinking the other option is to put another suspension right over here, facing towards here. But that's just gonna make it even longer for no apparent reason. So we'll leave it as that. But as you can imagine, just looking at it right now, it just looks like two. Just get a picture in your head here. Looks like two skateboards glued together side to side, and that's what this is. So it was an idea. trying to make it work okay, but yeah, it literally just looks like two skateboards glued together. So that's a bit odd, but it is what it is at this point. Is it necessary to do it this way? No, but I just want to try something a little bit different. So I think a little bit different obviously would have been if I can show you through just imagination here. So towards the end of each side, we should have one here and one here, like that, facing each other. So should we do it that way? Should we flip these guys over to look at each other and then face these guys to look at each other and build it around there so it looks a little different? Because this honestly just looks like it really does look like two skateboards glued together. I don't know. I'm gonna think about that, but if I leave it like this, it's not too bad because you get two aspects. You get the wheels facing each other, and then you get the wheels outside. If we went with the other option, then what we're gonna have is just two wheels facing each other on each side, which is also not a bad thing. So, yeah, I don't know at this point. I think we're gonna leave it like this for now. Maybe we'll change it up shortly, but I think this is what it's gonna be at this very moment. So I think maybe in the next video or episode, I might flip it around just to see what it looks like. Well, the good news is we still have the Cinderella chariot here going on, so we're gonna keep that for the time being until we get going with more materials. So definitely need to find a better solution than what we have now, but can't do too much currently. So that's what we got going so far. Alright, so that's it for today's episode of Rover Evolution. Thank you guys very much for watching. Hit that thumbs up, like the video. Don't forget to drop a comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.